Welcome back, my friend. In this one, I wanted to bring for you a very interesting guest. I recall when I was stuck in corporate and I couldn't get myself to leave my job. I was unhappy. I knew I didn't want to climb the corporate ladder. Every day I saw people being promoted. People asked me to even apply for jobs, and I didn't want it. Like it just wasn't it. Yet I was really stuck on the paycheck and I couldn't let it go. And every day that passed, I just knew I didn't want to be there. But I couldn't get myself to leave. For the 6 or 10 years I spent in corporate, now that I look back, every day wasn't a day when I was excited to wake up and do the same thing every day. And it's crazy because it took me six years, I think. It took me 6 years to finally go, you know what? I'm leaving. But what if I actually did quit on the first year or didn't do corporate at all? I wonder where I would be right now. I wonder where my impact would be right now. I wonder where the world would be because I said yes early on. It took me 6 years. I don't know how long it took my guest, but I wanted to bring Andrea on because this is her dream. Like she is more like you find the joy, and if you don't, you quit that job and you go find the joy. Andrea had to leave her corporate job as a lawyer to answer the calling on her heart, to find the joy in the things that she was doing. And if she could do it, really, I believe that we all can do it. Andrea is a transformational coach and an energy healer. Look at that shift from being a lawyer to being a transformational coach and energy healing people. She believes that joy is how our soul communicates to us and uses this firm belief to help her clients thrive both at work and at home. Maybe the job is your thing and you just need to find the joy and thrive and get up the ladders. But maybe you're like me and the job is not your thing and you need to find the courage to step up. But we can't just step out. We need the confidence and the clarity and the peace of mind to know that we're making this decision and it's the right decision. And so if you're in that place where you're stuck in corporate or you're just not happy with what you're doing, could be in corporate, you could also already be in business, but you're just not happy. Today is the day for that conversation. Andrea, welcome to the show. I'm excited that we're doing this.
Thank you, Prima, for having me. I resonate so much with everything that you mentioned before. If anything, it took me right back to that legal office. and every day, every second that you continue talking, I just felt so much gratitude to be able to have this opportunity to have this conversation with you and to just share our shared wisdom. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We never know who will be touched and moved by the words we say and how we show up. And so today, I hope that we help somebody find joy in whatever the thing they do. But what did I miss out about the work you do? Because I want the listener to know exactly how you help people. What did I miss out?
I don't think you really miss out on anything. The simple answer is essentially, when I say I help people find their sacred calling through joy, is essentially I help people come home to themselves so that they can live a life of joy and purpose. And I do it by helping them shift and resolve their energetic and emotional blockages, as well as helping them cultivate a mindset that enables them to continue pushing on to find that joy, right? We live in a world where it seems impossible to be happy because so many people feel that they haven't done enough to deserve joy, done enough to be worthy of it, or they just have zero idea how to be happy and fulfilled because they are so disconnected from themselves, constantly chasing arbitrary moving targets, looking to gain approval from others rather than give it to themselves. So that's really what I do, is I help people connect to who they are, do it by following their joy. And so that, you can experience genuine happiness, real inner peace, which I think is what all of us are looking for. And as well as discover your higher purpose, which will lead to fulfillment.
Just like you who is listening and going, I wonder what she means. Welcome to my world. Every day I interview these experts and they take me to the energy and the joy and the peace. And I'm like, okay, slow down. I don't understand what you're saying. So don't worry if you're feeling like, okay, like, what does she do? Don't worry, because slowly by slowly, I am going to find out what she does by asking her question after question after question until she gets to my level and then really makes me understand what she do. So Andrea, What problem do your clients tell you they have today when they work with you? Because I am one of those people who sometimes thinks, do I really know what she does? Don't I know what she does? For me to come to you and say, help me, what problem do I see that is as a result of not having joy or peace? Like, what problem do I know? Because sometimes we don't even know that it is the joy we're missing. Sometimes we just think, oh, things are not working. So explain to me, the people who work with you today, what problem they bring to you. Like, what are they saying is their problem externally?
Okay. So we know that the underlying problem at the very bottom of it is a disconnection to our authentic self. Because we are always looking for external validation. We don't know who we are. And because we don't know who we are, what we experience, I think predominantly is emptiness. We go through life doing all these things, always chasing after the material, the fame, or this white picket fence life that we were taught that, oh, this is going to bring us happiness. And then we realize and we get all that. And it's like, oh, no, it's not bringing me happy. Maybe I need to earn that extra $2 million, and then you get that, and then you get maybe your second or third partner, more children, and you're still not fulfilled, still without purpose, because you are disconnected from yourself. And another thing that they come to me is they experience a lot of loneliness because you don't know who you are. You could be in partnership, you could have the most amazing social life and still feel incredibly lonely, as if no one understands you. And if anything, it is when you're with people that is when the loneliness feels the worst. Wow. And because you're so disconnected, right, you also experience low self-worth, low self-esteem. You're endlessly, for example, back in the day, I used to scroll through Instagram or Facebook or whatever looking for something, but I don't know what, because I was so clueless. But really, when you look at it and you're thinking, everyone looks so happy. How do I become that happy? And you look at all those beautiful bodies and you're just like, why does my body not look like that? And this endless cycle, this vicious cycle of comparison, wishing, envy, wishing that you were them, but not knowing how to become them. Because at the end of the day, maybe you don't even really want them. You just want what they represent, which is that joy, that freedom, that sovereignty, And connected to all of that, the problems that most of my clients will experience would be anxiety, or they're anxious because they're always watching, they're always on high alert. What is this person going to say? What do I have to say? Do I have to watch what I have to say because I want to make sure this person is happy? That connects to people pleasing. We always want to have that external validation. And also ultimately at the bottom of it, even below imposter syndrome, it's that inability to give yourself permission to be human. Permission to be human. That permission to fail, permission to succeed, permission to be who you are, permission to maybe be quirky, permission to be in the fullness of who you are, to even maybe be half of who you are if you have to censor a part of yourself. And that is the worst. It's probably the most surface level, but also the worst part. That inability to give yourself permission to just be.
That's really good, because social media doesn't help things. Everyone wants to show us their best version. And I'm always miserable because I'm thinking, I wish people understood that there's probably people like me who don't care about the polish. And we just want a human being. Like, it's very frustrating for me to see people trying and giving us the perfect version. I personally don't need it. I don't want it. I don't believe it. And so I gravitate towards people who are just human beings, cocky, imperfect, everything going south if it wants to. I love that. And there is a way people can try to do it and just end up as like attention seekers. But there is a way to do it without trying, which is just give yourself permission to be a human being. I don't know if there is anything that would be more empowering than knowing that it's okay to be a human being. People are looking for a human being. Not the best words, not the best marketing, not the best sales script, a human being who is clear about why they do what they do. That brings me to another question, Andrea. I want to imagine or think that the person you serve is someone who is, I want to describe them as I've understood what you've said. Like you're always chasing the next thing to feel like either you matter or you think the next thing will cut it. So the next job, the next pay rise, the next paycheck, the next partner, the next child, the next party, the next masterclass, the next. I feel like this person has that desire to chase something, maybe it's the joy or the peace, and they just are always chasing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, only to turn out more empty every time.
Yes.
What do you want to add to that for the listener to kind of go, I am the person she serves, or I know someone that she serves? Help me describe the person, the human being for who your work exists.
So the human being for whom my work exists, they are the person that wants something more. They feel it deep within their being that there is something more. But they don't know how to get there. They wake up dreading to go to a job that they hate. They live in this beautiful house. They go downstairs to have coffee, coffee with their partner. Maybe they have a child or two, all the while wondering, is this it? They take the car, they sit in the car, they go to the desk looking at the papers, wondering, wow, is this what am I going to do for the rest of my life? You have great colleagues, or maybe you don't. If you have terrible colleagues, a terrible work environment, then it's time to get out, obviously. But if your colleagues are great, your clients are amazing, but yet life has no color. And you wonder, why can't you be happy? Because the world already has supposedly everything that will bring you happiness. And if you don't have everything that will bring you happiness, we can also work on that, because we're going to start dig into what is it about this toxic place that is giving you so much pleasure that you are staying, right? And during your lunch break, you scroll on social media, as I said before, looking for that happiness, still not finding it. And at some point you feel like you know that there is something out there. There is. But it's not reflected in your reality. Nothing seems to catch your eye. And you also fear the uncertainty, because when you're already in that situation, you don't want to move unless the road ahead is fully paved towards this amazing destination that you call joy and happiness and freedom. And so you think like, okay, because I don't have the full road ahead, I'm just going to blend in and I'm just going to stick it out. But the more you blend in, the more lonely and more alien you feel. And so you're stuck, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're sad, you're feeling unworthy, you're just feeling anxious. And what's worse is that in many occasions, you can't even direct it outwards to someone else. And that's the worst thing. You're directing it all to yourself.
Wow.
And that's just worse than a disease, because it's ongoing 24/7.
Oh my God. That brings me to a point where a majority of your people are in a job. And trust me, I understand what it feels like to see that paycheck come in, day out, and get to a feeling where you may have to let it go. Like, I know how scary that was for me. For 6 years, I didn't do it. Every month I got my paycheck and I said, this is it. Like, this is it. Because I was earning about $300 and then I moved to $500. And I think that was the peak of my career. From $300, okay, I was new graduate. All right, I'll take it. But then I got this promotion and I started to earn $500. And every month it was the same. At the end of the year, if they increased it by anything, it probably would have increased by $50. And I did the math and I said, like, is this it? And every day I felt like I was slowly dying inside. Every day when I did the same thing, I monitored the nodes. I was an engineer, monitored the nodes, reported alarms, created reports, the same thing one day after the other. I felt like I was dying on the inside and no one understood it. And for me, really, I woke up one day and I just said, you know what? This is it. I'm out. But I know that it is not easy. And so I want you to share your story. How did you get out of being a lawyer into this work, because that decision can be daunting. But hopefully, as we share our stories, someone, if they need to leave their job, might get the courage to do that. For me, I had a cupboard, I put clothing there. So I did this styling thing as I had my job. And at one point, the clothing staff was paying me more than the salary. And I only did it at lunchtime and break time with my colleagues at work. And so for me, I had proven that actually styling people pays me more and I love it more. So I think that my decision was more engineered by that feeling that, you know what, the car boot sales are working. If I can put this in a location, I already have the clientele from my colleagues. So it worked. And I really had a lot of joy doing it. So for me, I had kind of the backup that I needed to jump. But sometimes you don't, you know? So what's your story of like, how did you even get out and decided you wanted to do something else? Because I believe that will help someone.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your story, Prima. I relate in a variety of ways to it. My story was, I would actually have to thank the pandemic for it, because when I was made to work at home and business slowed down, I had to really confront a lot of painful facts such as, okay, I had to quit law once before 3 years ago, and I thought that I could give it a go. And this time with a great work environment, great pay, great hours, all of those things, and yet it's still not working. So now I know for a fact, I know this now, that if I stay, I'm 100% going to be miserable, or I could take my chances. So I kind of thought, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. I had a wonderful housemate who is my best friend. He recommended me to go work with a coach, and we did a series of chakra unblocking. And that was the first step for me to just think, okay, you know what? I've spent my whole life, or at least my whole career, thinking about what is the next step and thinking about what is the next step and the whole road ahead. This time, I'm just going to take it day by day. And I'm only going to do things that I want to do. And at that time, all I wanted to do was to be a social media influencer. That was when I started my Instagram account for the first time. And from that point onwards, when I continuously did the things that I love to do, opportunities started coming my way. So then a couple of friends actually messaged me saying, oh, I love what you're doing with your social media account. Can you help us grow ours? So then I became a social media manager. And then I came across this digital nomad coach, and I thought I wanted to do what she was doing. And I decided to take her course. And then from that point onwards, that coaching business tanked, because how on earth could I teach someone how to set up a business when I was still starting up my own? And from that point onwards, I was like, okay, well, you know what? This is no longer bringing me joy. I'm going to take a break. And in that moment, just when I was coming out of that break, recovering from burnout, chronic stress, all of those things, I opened up my LinkedIn inbox. I came across a job offer to work with a director of a coaching institute in Brisbane. And I had only exchanged 2 comments with him over one of my posts. And I went from 0 clients to 10. And he taught me his entire mindset coaching template, his entire program, so that I can teach it to his clients. And that was my foray into coaching. And after that, it was event after event. I wanted to look for my star family, and the trance channeler that I engaged, she offered theta healing services. And so I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is, but let's give it a go. But that was so impactful that I signed up for the whole program to become a theta healer. And one bit after bit after bit, and now here I am. And I'm working with my dream mentor, doing grit work, like doing work that makes me feel the most me I have ever felt in my life. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the entire process is this. Would you like the full breakdown of the process?
No, I want.
Okay. Tell me.
I want you to help me understand here. Sometimes we feel the calling, but we don't know the how.
Yes.
And a lot of us get stuck in the how. And I'm personally at a point where I'm clear that the what belongs to me and the how does not. That's and so true. All I need to know is the thing, what I want, and to take steps in faith and allow everything else to just unroll. But every day I encounter someone who is stuck in the what. I want us to share your bit of your take there, because where you are right now, you never knew you'd be there, but you ended up there because you said yes, and you took a step, and another one opened, another one opened, another one opened.
Yes.
How can we explain that to someone who is stuck in the job looking for the how? I leave my job today, and now what? Like, there's this crazy thing in my head saying maybe I need to go impact lives or whatever the thing is telling them. And they are like, heck, God, how do I do that? You know? Give me your 2 cents on that, because I want someone to be unlocked, because I feel like it's a place you can be forever, because the how is not going to find you clinging on the past. The how needs you to move. Like I tell people, your next love is not going to find you crying at the stairs of your ex. So move. Because if you're looking for a new love, you're going to leave the past love in the past. Otherwise, if every day you show up at their balcony and cry, I can guarantee you your next love or your soulmate is not going to find you crying on the stairs of your ex. It's not going to happen. So help me really there. What's your process when it comes to the unknown, you know, the things I don't know, the things I don't know how to do? The dream is here, the calling here, but I don't know the how, and I'm really stuck.
I can only share I'll share my particular how in the way that I can best understand, the way that I understand it, in the best way that I can convey it. The best way that I can convey it is, we are energetic beings, and I'm sure many of your audience have heard the expression, our vibration creates our reality, meaning that whatever it is that is the energy that we are emitting, life will draw experiences to us that are a match to that frequency. If I am feeling unworthy, I am going to have a partner that reinforces that. That could look like being in a toxic, abusive relationship. So if we are operating from a place of lack or fear, our external reality is going to reflect that exact same lack or fear to us. However, if we follow what brings us joy, and I don't necessarily mean like, you know, having to completely change your career, or it doesn't even have to be anything big, just something small, you know. And I don't mean doing activities that give us, you know, something to temporarily escape. I mean something that brings us true joy. That could be sitting down and doing pottery or painting, like, you know, to truly operate from a place of joy, to really be in that state of joy. And if we are in that state of joy for long enough, our external reality would reflect that too. So in this state of joy, combined with your focused intention of what you want. So in my case, my focused intention, it has always been like that, is I want to find work that feels like I was born in this world to do. Like I came here on this earth to do this work. And so I set that intention, and that was my only focus for everything that I did. And that is where the magic actually happens. So number one, yes, find what brings you the highest joy and excitement at any given moment, okay? At any given moment. And then it's about following that trail to a reasonable end. So for example, I did all those pivots from law to digital nomad coach until that business tanked. And I know when something has to stop because it's no longer bringing me joy. And I don't mean in a sense that there's these hard things that I have to do. I mean, it's not bringing me joy anymore. I feel like I don't want to do it anymore, you know? And as you're doing that, allow yourself to be present and enjoy the moment as it is at every moment. So zero attachment to the outcome. Don't think like, okay, when I do this thing, then you're picturing the whole shebang about, okay, now I'm going to get these clients and I'm going to do this and this. And it's easier said than done. But if you allow yourself to just be okay with something not working out, and you know yourself, if excitement or joy has just waned and you know it's time to move on, then allow yourself to move. And during the process, be present. And when you're happy, be aware of the synchronicities. Opportunities are always dropping. Like life is always unfolding for every one of us. It's just a matter of, are you aware enough to pick up? Are you present enough to pick up on what feels good to you? Where you are present enough and intuitive enough to pick up on like, oh, this feels good, I want to go do that. Or wait, hang on, I want to do that, but I feel scared. Can you pick up on that? Because if you feel scared, then you work on that. And if you feel like you want to go do it, then you go do it, you know? And every single thing that appears, that everything single thing that unfolds, whether you perceive it to be good or perceive it to be bad, every situation there is wisdom to be derived, whether you perceive it good or perceive it bad. Everything, life is always unfolding in your highest good. Life is always sending gifts. Sometimes those gifts come in the form of really painful lessons. For example, I used to be a workaholic, you know, and when I started my business and started doing all those pivots, I would work myself to the bone. But if I kept charging at the speed of a freight train, I miss everything around me. I miss the journey. I miss the breadcrumbs along the way. I miss all of it. And so that was really hard to dig deep into why I keep charging. Why am I so desperate for this business to succeed that I stopped to even, that I overlooked, and that I didn't even stop to see that this particular thing that I was doing at the time, was it the digital nomad coaching or was it even the mindset? It wasn't actually bringing me joy anymore. And so to slow down was really, really, really difficult. But you know what? That's part of the process. That's part of the journey. And so that brings me to my last piece of advice to this connection to this part of the process. As you are following your joy, you're going to hit snags because we're not used to following our joy to the absolute maximum. So as you go on this journey, allow yourself to heal and evolve during the process. And I don't care how you do this, whether you go to a shaman or do shadow work or go to a wellness retreat, go and travel, hook up with another man or woman, whatever it is that floats your boat. But allow yourself the grace and the compassion to look within, to see what is stopping you from acting on your highest joy. What is stopping you from following your bliss? Is there a part of you, maybe your parents instilled in you that you shouldn't be able to experience bliss unless you have a bit of struggle, unless you sacrifice. Or maybe you don't want to experience bliss because if you follow your highest joy, when the inevitable fall comes down, it's going to be really painful. And yes, it will be. But it doesn't mean that you're not going on an onward going trajectory. It doesn't mean you're not on a journey. You still keep going. And if you follow it long enough, and so allow yourself to go there, really go there. Find your soul frequency. Find your divine purpose. Allow yourself to go there.
I love it. I wanted to share, I just got a blackout. But I wanted to share that for me, I believe that when I have a strong calling on my heart, I have it because somebody's praying for the answer. And it's my job to say yes, not my job to know the how. I like to say this, when you have a clear calling on your heart, that is because there's somebody praying for the answer, and that answer is downloading in your heart because somebody needs it. And the other thing I've realized as I have taken chances is that I believe in God, that God will take care of you if you say yes. I've been in places, in situations where I didn't know where my next meal was going to come from, but God put food on my table. Somehow, when you say yes, it's very strange, but when you say yes, God will take care of you. Whoever you believe on, the inner, I don't know, the higher being that you believe in will take care of you. I have experienced this in the 6+4 years that I said yes and said I'm going to go in the world and serve people. God just has a way of providing. And it's crazy, but you have to say yes with all of the fear. And I wanted to give another small illustration of what awareness may look like to someone that is not aware, because I am not spiritually so deep. So I relate so much to the person who is still here in 3D. When I was buying my first car, it was a green little Spatio car that I got. But before I bought it, I walked in the bond and they said, I want to see the cars that you have. I walked around and I just saw the car and I was like, this one. They said, how much is it? I said, how much is it? And they told me the price. And I wanted to pay cash for it. So I said, I'm going to come back and take it because I want it, but I want to pay cash for it. So I left the bond. And every day I saw just the same car driving by. But before, I never saw a green special. Like I never saw this type of car. So when I saw it in the bond, I was like, oh my God, this is so special. I have not seen it. I want it. But when I reached home, it's like this car started showing up wherever I was. Like, how many of these things are out there? I still went and bought it, but it really made me aware that I wasn't seeing the car because I wasn't conscious of the car. And so it's the same thing. Once you say yes, now the answers start showing up. And to Andrea's point about listening, my husband likes to ask me, what is the best thing I can do right now to help you? And I like to tell him, get out of the way. That's the best thing you can do. And he's always very confused. Because like, get out of the way. That's how I can serve you today. And I'm like, yes, because my joy comes when I'm still. When I'm still, answers come, downloads come. I see clearly. My next steps unroll every time I'm able to be still. And so he never gets it, but really the way he can best support me is to get out of the way and allow me to be still and to do nothing. You really just have to find that part where things get clear for you, where you can listen to yourself, where you can pick up. Because once you say yes, the clues start coming, the answers start coming, the people start coming, everything really starts downloading. But you've got to be in a place where you're still enough to catch it, where you're still enough to take it in and go, oh my God, this is the thing I need to do. And I don't want to stay there any longer than I have to, but the how is not yours. The what is for you. You have to answer that. But the how does not belong to you. So release it. When you release it, then this experience will be for you as well. But I believe it's one of those experiences that can only be called and not told. So I don't think I can teach anyone this, but you will catch it if you give it a go. I want to go back to your process. I know that you take corporates from this place where they are to a place where they find joy and fulfillment and are operating in their best self, where they keep the job or leave their job. But I want you to, I know you've mentioned some of the steps before in the last question, but I want you to lay it out for us. Like, what is step 1 to step X of this journey? If I'm stuck in a job I hate, and they don't know what to do. And I was thinking, maybe I should contact Andrea. What does that process look like working with you from a place of misery, a place of stress and burnout, a place of unfulfillment and happiness, a place of chasing the next thing and feeling empty, to the place of feeling the way you feel, which is like, I am born, built to do this. It doesn't matter. Like, it's really a crazy feeling because it doesn't matter who else has a podcast. My podcast exists because people need it. And I don't care. The millions of other podcasts that are there, no one is doing it like me. It's just a crazy feeling. Like, you have to be out of your mind to think like that. But yet we're there. Like, we just feel like we're built for that. It doesn't matter how many other people are doing it. We just built for this. And it's gotta work because this is what we are built to do. And we wouldn't be if there wasn't a plan to make it work. So take me through those steps, because I feel like I would have wanted that before I quit my job, because I had so much fear around leaving my job.
Well, first and foremost, I would never tell someone to quit their job. But the first thing I would ask is, what is it that you would like to do? Like, let's do a list of 100 things that you would do for free forever. And then let's focus on the top 3, because some people have savings. And if you have savings, you get to just quit your job. Some people have side hustles. Then maybe you also, if that side hustle, you can build it up a little bit more, you can also quit your job. But not everyone has that privilege in the background. And not everyone is also in an environment which they can just automatically tear themselves away from. So it's about finding the most optimal situation that works for that individual at that particular point in time. So after you've given me that whole list, we look into the top 3, and then we think about, okay, what are the ways that we can introduce more of that into your day-to-day? And then from that point onwards, you are going to work all of those activities into your day. And then after that, we're going to look into, okay, what are the fears that are arising? What are the blocks that are arising? Why do you doubt yourself so much? Why are you anxious about doing this thing that you actually love? What is wrong with carving out time to actually do this thing that you supposedly love? In what ways are you afraid to communicate your wishes and needs to your partner, to your family? In what ways are you sacrificing yourself for other people? And so we work through all of that. We clear all of that. We release the stagnant energy. We release the low vibrational energy through energy healing, somatic releases and stuff like that. Along the process, I will connect you to your higher self. We're talking about your inner wisdom, your inner guides. And then slowly, as bit by bit, as the process goes on, the more you are going to see opportunities drop in your lap. The more you're going to go for opportunities that you see. You're going to start noticing it because it's going to be part of your reticular activating system. The more you decide that you want out of your job, the more you decide you want something more, you're going to start noticing more and more things that are going to subtly in the background persuade you out of this job. Or who knows, you might eventually find out that, hey, actually this job is actually not too bad. Or you might get another promotion within the job that you find out is actually a sacred calling. So as we go through that whole process, eventually you're going to be more and more in touch with what brings you joy. You're going to be more confident because you are joyful. Joyful, confident people are actually really happy with themselves, genuine ones. And so that is basically the entire process.
I want to try and recap so you can see kind of where I am, and then you can help me put what I've skipped. What I understand is, first thing is really clarity of where are you trying to go? Where would you like to go? Because if we don't know where we're going, we could enter in an Uber and really we can't get there. We could take 10 years to get there because we don't know where we're going. We don't know the destination. We don't know the pin. So how can the Uber driver really help us if we don't know where we're going? So first thing is to really know, like, where would you like to go? What would you like to do? That is the first point. And then the second one is, okay, in what ways are you feeling stuck around actually taking the step? What is coming up for you in relation to the place you want to be, what you want to do? Is it resistance? Is it fear? Is it imposter syndrome? What is cropping up for you? Because I think the other thing is really knowing where we are right now. So you want to be here and right now you're here. Okay. So what is a gap between here and there? That is kind of how I'm picking it. And so in what ways do you feel like your dream to get there is not able to manifest? That's kind of how I understood it. And then after that, allow yourself to heal the parts of you that are blocking you. Allow yourself to get into the experiences, whatever the experience is, whether that's regulation or Reiki or a subconscious reprogramming. Allow yourself to unlearn or let go of whatever patterns are holding you in that place because they've held you long enough to where you are, and clearly you don't like where you are, so let's change it. And then the number 4 is, now there's work you do there to help the person connect to their higher self. What I understand from that is that when you're connected to your higher self, your desire beats your fear. Like, I have done so many scary things at this point that then the fear no longer holds me back. Like, I have done so many things that were meant to kill me and they did not. I have taken so many chances where I was supposed to die and I did not. I quit my job and I was like, everyone was like, you're making career suicide. And I said, yeah, we'll see about that. And I didn't die. So now in my mind, I started to trust me more. Like, oh, okay, I didn't die from that. And then COVID hit. And I was like, I am going to close down this bricks and mortar, and I am not going to do bricks and mortar business again. I am going online. I'm in Uganda. Like, power just blacked out a few minutes ago. Power blacks out, internet blacks out for no reason whatsoever. And so I was like, I'm going to do this thing online, or I'm going to do it. And I jumped on, and with all these problems, this business has worked. And so now I think my instinct begins to say, you know, you didn't die the other time and you haven't died yet. So this is just one of those things. And so what I really understand when you say connect to your higher self, it is connecting to that place where you actually trust yourself more than the fear that is cropping up. And you go, I feel scared, but I'm going anyway. Because we all have the dreams. We all have the visions. We all want what we want. I think the difference between the people who take the action and the people who don't is this fear that really just feels louder than the dream sometimes and drags you down. And so what I think needs to happen is really taking the decision to say yes, so that you can create some proof for yourself, so that the next time the fear comes, you're like, yeah, fear, you're always here anyway. I know. You were there last time, I did it. You came back, I did it. So now you know what we do? Come, let's go. Because we've always done it together. And then what happens when you connect with that higher self is really you take more chances. You say yes more. You will try things out. You will get to discover what you can do because you've allowed yourself to connect with a being that is bigger than your fear. What did I leave? What did I forget in the process?
I don't think you have forgotten really anything. You've really covered everything. It's, feel the fear and do it anyway, and know that everything in life is here for you to grow and evolve through the process. We want the adventure. We don't want just a smooth journey. It's boring. We want the adventure.
Allow yourself to experience life, because life is an adventure. If we knew what was happening every day for the rest of our lives, like how boring would that be?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be boring.
Absolutely. We want the peaks and valleys. And the valleys would be when you're going through a terrible moment and you're facing your fear. And then after that, you get over that. That high, that's addictive,
I love it. I would be very curious with the experiences you have experienced or your people have experienced who've worked with. I want the listener to kind of see what is possible. Like for me, I didn't know that I would leave my job and make 10 times more money when I did, because that's what happened to me 10 years ago when I did. I made 10 times more in my business than I did at my job. And that was in the first year. And I was like, wow. Then I left that business because of COVID, actually. But COVID forced me to leave that business. And I came online and I realized that what I was making in a year, I began to make in a month. And so for me, every time I say yes, things happen that just blow up my mind. Like I don't know what is possible until I say yes. And every time I say yes, I go like, oh, really? Like, that's too big, And for me, it's become a reward for saying yes, because I never know what I'm saying no to when I do. I want you to take us through kind of the people you've worked with, or even yourself. What is possible for people when they say yes, this adventure? What has been possible in your experience for the people you've worked with?
Well, if I were to use myself as an example, when I was doing law, I don't know what personal development was. I don't know what mindset was even. And somehow 2.5 years later, I'm an energy healer. That is the complete 180 far end of the other spectrum. That's number one. Number two, there was this lady that I work with. She was, I think, a marketing consultant in a digital marketing company. She had worked there for 8 years. She never got promoted in the same position. And she really wanted to be a manager, but she just didn't have the confidence. She hated confrontation. Anyway, 6 months down the line, she moves to Melbourne, Australia with her partner. She started to quit that job and scored an amazing job with Disney Plus, earning 6 figures.
Wow.
6 months later.
Wow.
That's number two. My best friend, he quit his job as a process engineer to find his sacred calling. He was struggling for God knows how long. He knew that he wanted to be a writer. And recently I just did some, along the way, did some energy work with him. And next thing you know, now he's just submitted a summary to a contact that he's received to turn this book that he's in the process of writing into a movie.
Whoa. Oh my God. It's endless, isn't it?
It's endless. You just have to say yes.
None of us knows what it looks like for you. Like
you don't know. And that's the point. It's, can you trust yourself to make the decision to go for it? And there is no wrong decision. Every decision is a right decision, because every decision that you make, regardless of what the outcome is, it is going to be the decision that is the best decision that you can make it with those resources that you have at that point in time. And that means that even if the outcome might be unfavorable, at least now you've learned something. You've evolved from that decision. And it's everything always has a lesson. It's always a gift.
I don't know. Some things can't be taught. They can only be caught. Yeah. Until you say yes, some of these experiences don't exist for you. Can you tell me, I know you support people behind the scenes. I know you hold people by the hand. I know you're doing energy work with human beings who are making moves, who are stepping into their calling, their purpose. Remind me again what the containers look like behind the scenes, how, in what capacities are you helping?
So I basically have three options. I only at the moment work one-on-one. I'm looking to branch out into a hybrid group coaching and one-on-one, but I'm working on that in the background. So for the time being, I have three different packages. The first package is one with just 3 sessions. So this is like a super quick fix for those that need that bit of a push to get over the fence. This could be anything. It could be around manifesting, connecting to your higher self, bringing more joy and wealth. It's the easiest way to have a taste of my work and also experience, like really fully embody and experience the joy that is and the magic that is possible for you. The next one is a 6-session package. So this will be similar to the 3, but a lot more potent. The next one is like a 90-day coaching package. This is where we really deep dive into clearing ancestral trauma, shifting limiting beliefs by rewiring your brain, releasing stagnant emotions, installing new, healthier beliefs into your subconscious mind, into your body, installing safety into your body so that you can actually progress, as well connecting yourself to your higher self, your spirit guides, so you can really live a life of joy with all the tools and resources that are already within you instead of outsourcing wisdom to anyone else.
So if I was thinking, oh my God, I want to dive into one of those, what's the next step? What should I do?
I think the best thing to do is to check out my website at www.andreafung.com, or you could follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I trust that Prima will be putting the links down. Have a read of my content, and if there's something that actually resonates with you, then send me a message so we can schedule in like a free strategy call and start unlocking the joy and abundance in your life. Another option would be to email me at awaken@andreafung.com.
Amazing. All the various ways to contact Andrea will be rightfully in the show notes. So if you're on a podcast platform or on a video platform, be sure to scroll through the notes and everything will be right there. It's perfectly okay to be where you're at. If you feel like your next right call is to book a call, go for that. Don't even mess around with content and the next video, just go for the call. When you feel like, you know what, I have consumed YouTube, I've been on podcasts and I am just done. Like I'm done consuming, don't even bother with her content. Go straight and book a call. Because sometimes you just need to press that button and get on that call and your life can shift in ways you didn't even imagine. If you don't feel quite there yet and you would love to look around, yes, everything will be in the show notes and you can sure check her out before booking the call. The best thing you can do for Andrea or for me on this podcast is to share this message with one person that needs to hear it. Who do you know that is unfulfilled or in a place they don't really enjoy? Who do you know that has talked to you about the job they had for the couple of years that you've been with them and you feel like, yeah, you've had enough of them? Every time you meet your friend, they're complaining about their boss, their job, their thing. They're complaining about their husband, their marriage. Who do you know that is in a life situation that is not bringing them joy? Who do you know that is doing something for money and they're miserable? Who do you know that needs the clarity of stepping into their purpose and doing something they like? We all have those friends who seem to dream about the businesses, but they never start them. They talk about the career, I want to rise, I want a new job, I want to leave a company, but they never leave. They complain how they're underpaid, but they never have the hard conversation with their boss around, I need a new paycheck or whatever. Maybe it's you and you're going, yeah, that's me. Don't even look far, that's me. Good. Book the call. But the one thing you can truly do for the work that I am doing on a Best Kept Secret is to share this message with one human being for who it can change lives. I believe we all know what we want, but we get in the way. So there's a big gap between knowing and being. And Andrea exists so that that gap can be bridged, so that we can actually get out of the way and be the thing that we're called to be. That is why she exists, because that shift is not easy. We all know how to lose weight, but look around. We all know that if you eat less and move more, you will be in shape. If you move more than you eat, look around. People are not doing this thing. And so it is my calling for you to share this message with one person that you know needs to hear it, because together we can help people get out of their own way, heal themselves, clear old patterns, so they can fully step into the things that they know they want to step in. And you can be of help by sharing this message. Of course, I would love for you to rate, review, leave a comment, and do all of the things that the platforms request of, so we can send this message to as many people as possible. And I am trusting you to do that, because you're here, not by mistake, but because you're part of my how. My what was to answer the calling. And now the how is you showing up and saying, yes, Prima, I want to be a part of that. Everything just works out by itself. Andrea, I am winding up, but I would love for you to speak into the person that is on the other side feeling like, I don't know, I have kids to feed. I don't know if the parents will happen. Again, they're worrying about the how. And they're wondering, should I take the call? Should I know? What are your last words of wisdom for the person who is like still in that friction where the fear is louder than the calling?
I hope you give yourself permission to dream bigger than what you have been taught. And I hope you give yourself permission to go through the discomfort of healing so you can experience the joy that comes from deep within your soul. Because when you choose to allow your natural intelligence and inner wisdom to take you on an adventurous journey so divine, so delicious, that when the day, when everything comes together, when you can finally connect all the dots, you'll be mind blown with the masterpiece that you have unknowingly co-created, because life is always organizing itself for you, and there will be an effortless flow that you will start to be in if you keep saying yes to all the opportunities that come. So allow yourself the chance to evolve. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to choose what actions you want to take. And through this evolution, your higher purpose will find you. It will find you the way it found me. And most importantly, when that day arrives, you will realize, this is the most magical part. When that day arrives, you will realize how you came home to your soul, and that is what you've been searching for all along. It was never the money. It was never it was never all these things that the world taught you. It was you. And that is the greatest gift.
I love it. I want to end with this. The what is for you. You have to listen to it. And at one point, you have to say yes. Until you say yes, nothing will change. You'll stay where you're at. And if you're unhappy where you're at, then maybe it's time to say yes. I can't stress enough the what is for you. God placed a calling on your heart, and he didn't put it on any other person's heart. So for you to expect your husband to get it, for you to expect your boss to get it, for you to expect your neighbor, your best friend to get it, that is setting yourself up for failure. The calling on your heart, no one has it. No one knows what it is. And so if people don't support you along the way, that is why, because they don't have visibility to your vision. And until you say yes, everything just stays confusing. And so the best gift you can do for yourself, which I have learned from my own journey, is just say yes and surrender, because the what is for you, the how is not. It does not belong to you. So give up trying to control the how, because it does not belong to you. I hope today's interview has served you. I hope you get to share this episode with one person. And I hope that you get to do one thing from this conversation, which hopefully will drop you into your purpose and get you experiencing the work that you are put on this planet to experience. Thank you for showing up today. Have a great, great day. Andrea, thank you so much for pouring into us today. We appreciate your wisdom and your presence.
Thank you, Prima. Thank you. Have an amazing day.
That is it, my friend. To listen to more exclusive interviews like this one, simply go to the World's Best Kept Secret podcast.com and select interviews based on preferred topic.